So when you're posting videos to YouTube, one of the most important things that you can ever do is understand how to get the click, which comes from having a great title and thumbnail. So in this video, I want to give you a tutorial on how I make my viral thumbnails. These are some of the thumbnails I've created in the past that have made tens of millions of views. And I want to show you how I do that. You don't have to be posting extreme mountain bike content or anything like that. This will work in any niche. I'm going to jump over to my computer and I'm going to show you exactly how I create them so you can just copy me. And I will leave links below to a masterclass I've put together. It's a 90-minute training on everything from decoding the algorithm to more on titles and thumbnails and how to find viral video ideas. Okay, so I'm over on canva.com and this is the tool that I use to make all my viral YouTube thumbnails. I think it's one of the best tools for YouTubers to use. I think there's a free version that you can use, and I also use the paid version because it gives you access to all sorts of other cool stuff. But this is one of the best tools I've ever seen and used. A lot of people use Photoshop and Adobe Lightroom, but I find that also so confusing. So to get started, you'll notice here, you just have to click YouTube thumbnail, and this will give you the dimensions straight away. It will probably open a new tab, and then this will give us our blank canvas to work from. And on the left-hand side here, you'll notice we've got a ton of different tabs: design, elements, text, brands, upload. You don't need to worry about all of them just yet. If you are struggling for designs on like where to start the concept of your thumbnail, it has so many templates already built into Canva that you can literally swipe. And you'll see the crown by some of them, which is telling you that some templates are included in the Canva Pro plan. And they tend to use the Pro, like the premium templates are generally what's been proven to go more viral. So you'll probably have seen some of these styles before. So if I click see all, these are all part of the plan that I currently pay for, but they'll give you good starting points. And even if you don't use these, like even if you don't have the paid plan, you can actually just look at this and recreate it yourself. So that's a good starting point. So if you're just struggling to know where to even start, Canva has a ton of design elements already built in. You just copy them straight away. Elements underneath, this is where we can add all sorts of graphics, shapes, and you can literally search for anything in here and it will find it. Text, obviously we can add text in there, heading, subheading, there's tons to choose from. The uploads tab is where you're going to upload your photos and videos. And I'm just going to upload a picture now. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. So I've got this picture here, and this is for a video I'm currently making a thumbnail for. So it's like a robotic leg. It's called a hypershell. But as you can see, this is not the correct size for the thumbnail yet. So I'm going to drag these corners here, and I'm just going to resize it to roughly what I want. And you'll notice here, it isn't the right size of the thumbnail. So one thing this tool has is some cool AI tools. So if I click on the image and I click edit, I've got all these different color adjustments and all these Magic Studio tools. So this is really cool. If we scroll across, I can click Magic Expand. I can click whole page and it will expand the image to fit my dimensions of my YouTube thumbnail. Now, sometimes it gets this really good. Sometimes it's a bit off. So you have to play around with it, but it will give you different ideas here, which you can choose from, which you'll see in just a second. And as you can see here, it has done a pretty good job of carrying on expanding this thumbnail image. I think that's pretty sick. So now when it comes to thumbnails, there's a key principle you should take home here. A lot of people overcomplicate their thumbnails. They add too much text, too much graphics. It's very hard to know what's going on and what the hero or the focal point of the thumbnail is. And you know, if you're on YouTube and you're trying to attract someone's attention to click on your thumbnail, you've got like milliseconds to do it. So we have to have a thumbnail that is clear, easy to understand at a glance, and is just really simple. So I like to have no more than 3 elements on the thumbnail, 3 points of contact with the eyes. So because this hypershell is the focus of the thumbnail, I want to make this slightly bigger so it kind of becomes the center of the thumbnail, or like the center of attention. So now we can see it is taking up pretty much half the thumbnail, which is going to draw people's attention to it. So now what we can do I want to make this pop a little bit. So again, we can highlight the image. We can click edit. You can then decide, which I like doing this, and you can do this in any element in your thumbnail. You can select the foreground or background. And again, it's all AI, so sometimes it will get this great, sometimes it won't. But look, it's highlighted me, it's highlighted the hypershell. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to click adjust, and I'm going to bring the brightness up slightly, just so it sticks out a little bit more than the background. And we can even reduce the background down a little bit in terms of brightness, so it pops a little bit more. I'm just going to bump that contrast up, that saturation up a little bit. And we can actually scroll down here and we can adjust individual colors on the image, which I also like doing. I would come out of here and click highlight the whole image, edit, adjust, scroll down, and it generally will pull out the colors here. For some reason, it's still loading, but usually you can pick individual colors and just in individual colors. Now I'm going to make this thumbnail pop even more. So I'm going to add an element to this. So you can see this orange ring here, this orange ring. I'm going to change that to neon green. So I'm going to click elements and I'm going to search neon ring, and it'll come up with all sorts of videos, photos and graphics. I'm going to click on see all here, and obviously all these different styles. I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to change the color of it. Let's just go bright neon green, and I'm going to resize this and slot this right on top. I might have to zoom in a little bit just to get it perfect. Now if we zoom out now, you can see instantly that draws people's attention to that thing that's on my waist, right? And when it comes to making thumbnails, all these little intricate details that I'm showing you, you'd be surprised at how much this goes into the overall finished product of the thumbnail, because a lot of people overlook this completely. And this is the secret sauce to getting clicks and going viral on YouTube. Creating simple thumbnails that grab attention. So I'm also going to click edit, and I'm going to, I want to try and make that red jersey pop a bit more, but okay. So now what I'm thinking, this thumbnail alone isn't strong enough. It's like, you know, it's kind of being, people know that this is kind of the focal point, but I think we can make this stronger. So what we can do is we can add a little bit of text. So because these are designed to give me superhuman strength, they're like 2,000 watt motors on my legs. They're supposed to be, you know, help with giving me more power in the legs. I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to click click the text here, and then click add heading. And I'm going to go with something like, I mean, we could have robot legs, or we could have superhuman legs. But if we go, let's go superhuman speed. Okay. So now give me a second. I'm going to resize this speed because I want that a bit bigger. Rebalance that. And then headings, you can, text and font. You can click here, and then this will click here, and it will open up a whole host of different text styles. And if you're unsure what text to use, because it's quite overwhelming, another thing you can do here, you can click design, and again, you can go back to this page that gives you all these templates and examples, and we can just grab text from here. So if you find text that you like off one of these designs, what you can do is you can click add a page. Let's say we like this one here, this singer one. Let's drag that in. Now I can just grab any element off this. So here, I'm going to Command and C that and bring it onto here. Okay, now I'm just going to reword this, superhuman. let's just adjust the size. And then I'm just going to delete that now. I'm going to go copy, paste it in again. Okay, now let's just resize this so it just looks a little bit better. Just going to resize this, it's easy to work with. So we want the superhuman to fit in here, but not too tight. We want a little bit of space beside it. That's going to dictate the size of that, back there. And then probably bring that a bit bigger. Okay. That's kind of cool. Now what we can do to make this pop even more, we're going to bring that text off the thumbnail. Because right now it's good, but it could be better. So what we can do is we can click on it. You can click effects. And you'll see here we've got all these different effect styles. So at the minute, this has got a lift on it. So it's kind of popping out and adding a shadow behind it. And you can adjust the intensity and all sorts here. I'm going to click outline. And we're going to outline this with a black bit of text. Or something that looks pretty sick. And let's do the same for this one. Black. Okay. I'm going to change the color of the word speed. I think I can make that pop even more. Let's go text color. Let's go red. This is an interesting point, actually. So when you're choosing what colors to add in your thumbnail, you'll notice here there's a common theme going on with colors that oppose each other on the color wheel. So generally, red contrasts very well with blue, as you can see with the sky and my jersey. And then we've got green and red. It's kind of okay. But if I go to Google now, I'll show you this quickly. Color wheel opposites. Let's see if we can just quickly find this. Okay. So you can see here, this is a really good example of if you're struggling to know what colors to use in a thumbnail that will make it pop. You can just look at one of these color wheels and say, well, if I've got green grass, then I'm going to put red on top of it. That's going to oppose it better. It's going to pop more. It's going to be more contrast. We've got orange and blue, purple and yellow. So that's a really good way to think about things. And if we look at our greeny yellow grass here, I mean, we could argue that greeny yellow, so like anything that's like purpley red violet could work quite well. So if I just highlight that, let's just go on our color picker and have a look. So it kind of looks okay. You can just have a look at what it all looks like. But if you pick yellow, it's not going to pop very well. And sometimes white can be a really good option. But I want the word speed to stand out. So I'm going to go with my original choice, which is red. I want to just add some saturation. And we can also click this color dropper here. And we could pick this color of the jersey, which doesn't really work too well there, but you can also do that. I want to pop that more. Highlight it. There we go. Boom. Okay. So now the word speed is kind of okay, but I reckon we could change the outline to white, and that would look quite dope. All right, that looks a bit better. I'm going to adjust the spacing of this text, a bit tight for my liking. So I'm going to click advanced settings here, letter spacing, and I'm going to do the same for this superhuman. Increase that letter spacing a little bit. Again, it's a bit of an art and a science this. You have to play around with yours as well. So I kind of like that. I might add a little bit more outline around that. Just increase the thickness a little bit. Don't want to go too much though, because then it's, I mean, you could do if you wanted to, but I quite like it a bit spaced apart. I'm going to just a little bit wider there. Make that smaller. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. Now, one thing here you want to be aware of is where the eye is drawn its attention to. So we've got the main hero of the image, we've got our text, but what I think would make it even more powerful is if we point this little tiny arrow from the superhuman speed to our hypershell, or like hero image, because people could read that superhuman speed when they're glancing through YouTube and think, "Oh, like what is superhuman speed about this?" But then if you add a small arrow, only something real subtle, as I'll show you, it'll divert the eye to show people what's actually going on. And it'll create this cognitive dissonance and this curiosity in their mind, which will create people to want to click to think, what is that thing he's wearing? So I'm going to click elements. I'm going to click, let's just click red arrow. And you'll notice it will come up with a lot of red arrows. So you can pick your style. I'm going to grab one that is like kind of curved. That allows me to put a bit of background on it as well. So maybe this one. This one's quite cartoony. I think we should probably do a bit better than that. It's got magic recommendations here as well. So if you've used some in the past, it knows what to suggest for you. This is cool. This is a good one. I'm going to resize this. You don't want it too big because I don't want it to draw attention away from everything else that's going on in the thumbnail. Because this, if I have an image, if I have an arrow that's this big, we've instantly lost the power of the thumbnail. So I'm going to just change this to white. There we go. Zoom out slightly. I like when I'm creating my thumbnails, I like to zoom out because realistically, when someone's on YouTube, they're not going to see your thumbnail this big. They're going to see it like this big. So it's a really good thing to keep in mind. Like zoom out and ask yourself, is it obvious what's going on from this distance? But yeah, just keep that in mind. Let's just make this sky pop a bit more. I think we could increase the blue a little bit more. Again, this is all personal preference. Let me just reset this. Okay, cool. We've got the blue. Edit. Oh, what's happened here? Edit. Adjust. Let's grab this blue here. And now we can adjust only the blue colors in the thumbnail. So I'm going to make the sky pop a little bit more. But again, you're going to be careful not to draw too much attention away from the main part of the image. Okay, now we can make this jersey pop more. You see that now? And again, we can change the color of the actual jersey if you wanted to. If you've got one solid color, we can like change the color completely. It's very cool. But for now, we're going to keep it like that. Kind of like that as it is. Awesome. I'm just going to change this, make this a little bit green, different. Drop it down. And I don't like having too overly saturated images. It looks a bit fake then, doesn't it? Again, this is going to be something to play around with when you're making your thumbnails. It's very personal preference. I'm going to leave that for now. So I quite like that. Now, one thing here, this is a mountain bike specific video. So maybe it suggests that we should have some sort of mountain bike going on in here. To show that this is for mountain biking. You don't have to, but what you could also do is use some of Canva's AI tools in here to add a mountain bike to the image. So we can click edit. I can click this button here called magic edit. And if we wanted to, I could brush part of the image and add different AI parts to it. So let's say, for instance, we want a thumbnail where there's some mountain bikers like chasing me. So the title of this video is going to be something along the lines of using an exoskeleton to cheat at mountain biking. So when you think of the word cheating, you then think, okay, you are in some sort of competition, you're against other people, you are doing something that the competition doesn't have access to. So I'm thinking maybe we could have some mountain bikers chasing me or something, like coming in from the side of the screen. And again, this is very much an art and a science to get used to this, but let's just highlight some of this here. So I'm going to add a bit of purple here, right? And I'm going to describe what I want to add or change. And you can get as creative as you want with this. It's crazy. Let's just search add mountain bikers coming in from the left side of the thumbnail, image even. So generate. Now this is, I'm almost guaranteed that this is probably not going to be accurate first time. And this will get better with better prompts. Sometimes like this, it hasn't even added anything. Oh, it has, but they're real small. You see these little mountain bikers. So let's just go real broad and search mountain biker. Let's see what we come up with now. Give it a second to generate. Okay, you see what it's trying to do. So some of these are going to be pretty lame. So search 2 mountain bikers riding from left to right. Again, AI is going to get better and better very quickly with this. You know, you'll have to play around with it and see. Sometimes it can be good. Sometimes it can miss the mark a little bit. So it's trying. So for instance, like this, right? Let's just go with that. Okay, it's not actually added them to the screen. Now, if we add them there, it's probably going to not add them properly. But we could, this is another idea we could do. Click Magic Edit again. Let's click brush, sorry. And let's add in I wonder if we can add in a mountain bike coming down the hills in the background, like down here. Mountain biker. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it's kind of getting the right idea, but it's also way off. But let's just leave that for now. But you never play around with that. I'm going to leave this thumbnail as it is. I think that's really cool. But if we zoom out, like, it is kind of simple. And this is the key to thumbnails. Simple, clear, concise. Ideally, I could even have a mountain bike, maybe even my back wheel here just showing at the bottom of the thumbnail. My thinking was to add 2 mountain bikers chasing me, or someone's mountain biker front wheel here, so it looks like they're trying to keep up with me. That was kind of my thought with this. But a lot of people will overcomplicate this type of thumbnail and not think about the things that I've walked through in this video. But I'll show you some quickly. I'll just show you some thumbnails on here, which again are the same concepts. So we have like really simple concepts. There's 3 points of contact, sometimes less. Very simple, very easy to understand what's going on. And I use this tool for literally everything. There's parts of these images that I've used AI on, but not too much that it destroys the image and the overall impact of what I want people to experience. But I hope that was useful. Yeah, that's how I make my thumbnails. Canva is the best thing ever. And if you want to learn more about titles, thumbnails, how the algorithm actually works, how I find viral video ideas almost every time, I'll leave a link below to a masterclass I put together. It's 90 minutes long. I've split it into 3 parts, and it walks you through everything in detail about really growing a successful YouTube channel. But any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.